All right, guys, this video right here is something I'm really excited about. This video is all about LaVivid's pre-cut service for hair systems. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why would I want a pre-cut hair system, or what is a pre-cut hair system? Now, a pre-cut hair system is a hair system that has been cut down to your template, to the hairstyle that you want, so that way you can get it in the mail and you can put it on your head as soon as possible. Now, this service is a really exceptional one that you may want to consider. And it's very easy to achieve as well. Now, first off, why would someone want to get a pre-cut hair system? Now, there's a lot of different reasons, but generally speaking, some people live in areas that they do not have people that they feel comfortable getting a hair system from, or having them cut a hair system. They don't feel comfortable with the barber cutting a hair system down. There's a lot of different reasons, and they'd prefer the professionals at LaVivid to cut down their hair system and then finally cut the hair. Both of these things can be somewhat tricky to do, especially cutting the hair system down yourself. Later in this ebook, you'll see how you can go about cutting the hair system base yourself, but it can be tricky, it can be time consuming, and it can be somewhat nerve-wracking. So if you don't want to do that, feel free to ask LaVivid to pre-cut your system. It's for a very small fee, and it actually makes a lot of sense to do. Really, the cool thing about it from that point is that you can wear a hair system directly out of the box. This is something that can be very valuable if you want to have a hair system as a backup. And you just want to have it stored in the box ready to go just in case anything to your current system happens, or you're on a trip and you need a backup one. It's a great way to have another one ready to go no matter what happens, and it's pretty much the same exact style that you have currently. Now, how do you go about getting this service done? Well, all you have to do is ask LaVivid, and they have a pretty simple way to accomplish any single hairstyle that you possibly want. And these are the basic steps that you've got to follow. So if you want to get a system from LaVivid that's pre-cut, here's the first question you need to ask. Do you have a hair system template? Now, if you do have a hair system template or an old hair system like this, here's what you got to do. You're gonna send your hair system template in, as well as a sample of your hair, and you're gonna send it to LaVivid at this address right here. Next up, all you gotta do is email them with two pieces of information. First off, you can choose from their pre-cut styles on their website, which I will link right here in front of me, or you can actually have any haircut you want by going and finding pictures of a haircut online. I've actually done this myself, and it worked out very well. The other piece of information that you're gonna have to send LaVivid is pictures from the front, from the sides of your head, and from the back of your head. That way they can see what your hair and your head look like. You send those two pieces of information to LaVivid at this email right here, and then they pre-cut your system, they pre-cut the hair, everything ready to go, ready to wear out of the box, and it's as simple as that. Now, if you don't have a hair system template, all you have to do are a couple extra steps. Number one, you have to email them the size of your hair loss. Now, if you want to do this, it's fairly easy. Take a look at this graph in front of you right now. What you want to do is first determine where your front hairline begins. Usually it's 4 fingers width away from your front eyebrow. That means that you put 4 fingers from your eyebrow over your forehead and mark that as the beginning of your hairline. Now, you're gonna need a couple different measurements, which you can see on the screen right now with this graph. First is your front to back measurement. Now, your front to back measurement is from your front hairline to the furthest point in the back of your scalp where you're experiencing hair loss. Now we're gonna measure the width of your hair loss. Most people's hair loss is somewhat symmetrical, but wider at different points. So if we look at the graph right now, what you're going to do is send LaVivid 3 different widths. The first width is going to be a measure of the widest area of your hair loss from one side to the other. And this is generally going to be in the middle area of your hair loss, in the middle of your scalp. Next up, you're going to measure a second width. Your second measure is measuring the width where it is 5 centimeters from the edge of your hair loss area in the back of your scalp towards the top, towards the crown of your head. So that's going to be 5 centimeters from the very back of your hair loss. Go to the end of your hair loss and then come up 5 centimeters vertically and measure that width right there. Next up, you're going to take a third width. This is going to be a lot like the second width, except pertaining to the front area of your hair loss. So for the third width, you're going to measure the width, which is 5 centimeters vertically from the top of your front hairline towards the back, meaning you are going to measure the width of 5 centimeters back from your front hairline. Then you will send these dimensions to LaVivid. You're going to send them the same information as those that do have a template, meaning that you get to choose any hairstyle you want or get to pick from the styles that LaVivid has curated on their website, and also send pictures from the front, backs, and sides of your head, so that way LaVivid can see what your head, your hair looks like currently. One other piece of information is required, and that is which front hairline contour you would like. There's different contours that match different levels of recession. Now, LaVivid offers contours measuring from CC, C, BB, B, AA, and A. And these are a measurement, as you see in this graph, of your frontal hair recession. A CC hairline is going to be a very, very young hairline, someone who has absolutely zero recession in the front of their hairline, as opposed to an A contour hairline, which is much more recessed, much more mature, and could be an option for you if you are a little bit older or you have some of your temple area receding, which is a very, very common reason to go with a more recessed hairline with a hair system. Now, that being said, getting a pre-cut service from LaVivid is generally recommended for those that are a little bit more experienced with hair systems. And the reason for this is that it might require some fine tuning and adjustment. Of course, you do not have a barber that is blending your hair perfectly to match the hair system. And while LaVivid can do a fantastic job and get you 99% of the way there, you may want to go that extra mile, which may require some blending by a barber or by yourself if you do have the skills to do so. That being said, I have used this service. I think it's a fantastic option as well for those that are beginning getting a hair system. That being said, I've used this service myself. I think it's a fantastic offer for those that are more experienced as well as those that are just getting into hair systems. It offers something really, really nice for those that are just getting started with hair systems, and that is that number one, it's much easier to install a hair system when there's less hair on it. So if you get it pre-cut, your first time installing it yourself will be much easier, and you can get a very, very good result without even having to do any augmentation or some slight modification to the hairstyle that is pre-cut for you. That being said, this is generally recommended for those that are a little bit more advanced with hair systems and can do that slight modification for themselves. But it's a very, very cheap fee, and I love the fact that it cuts down your hair system template directly for you. That might be one of the trickiest parts for someone who is just getting started with hair systems, and that itself may make it worth it, along with having a free haircut along with it. So if you do want to consider getting a pre-cut unit by LaVivid, Follow these instructions. It's very, very simple, and you can have any style you want matched to your specific hair system template, and you can wear a hair system right out of the box.